Thanks for coming and listening to the Everything Avatar podcast. We are your hosts, Dan Harris and
Aaron Pinkham.
This is the podcast on everything Avatar, and we're glad you're joining us.
This is where we're going to talk about basically everything Avatar related as in Avatar The Last Airbender.
Not Avatar the movie. The premise for this podcast is that we're going to look at each episode from 2 points of view. Me, a 40-something dad that has zero experience at all with anything Avatar related or the Avatar world, versus
me, who is somebody who is a super big Avatar fan, and I've been watching it for 11 years now.
All right, so let's talk about episode 4, The Warriors of Kyoshi. So this episode kind of started out with Zuko meditating, and he's getting upset because he doesn't know where Aang is, and he's trying to hunt him down, obviously.
Yeah.
But that was just kind of a quick, short little scene, and it quickly goes to Aang. Mm-hmm. And they're arriving at this island of Kyoshi.
Kyoshi Island.
Yeah, and the whole reason he wants to go there is to ride an elephant koi fish.
Yep.
So what? So it looks like a giant koi fish, basically. Yep. But
that's what it is, pretty much.
So they just kind of say elephant because it's so huge, basically. But as he's doing that, he almost gets, I don't know if you want to say eaten.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
By they call it a unagi.
Yeah.
Now, what is that exactly?
Well, it's like a water, like it's just like
creature.
Creature, serpent kind of thing.
Okay.
Sea monster, I don't know.
So they basically all run ashore or run to the shore. And then when they run to the shore, there's a band of girls, these girl warriors that come out and they basically capture them.
The Kyoshi warriors. They're on like the island of Kyoshi. So those are the Kyoshi warriors. That's what the episode's named after.
Gotcha. So these girls find out that Aang is the Avatar and they start going all goo for him. Basically, he's got a fan of girls.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the little girls on the island are the ones who are a big fan of Aang, but then like the older girls, the warriors are, just like, yes, they're still the warriors, but like the people that are all fans of Aang are like the little kids.
Right. And Aang being, he's younger too, so he kind of likes it, digs it. He starts doing all these things to try to show off.
Yeah.
He decides he's going to ride the unagi.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, as he's trying to show off for these young kids, you kind of see it looks like Katara, in a way, gets kind of jealous.
Yeah.
That he's trying to show off for these young kids. And then in the same way, he kind of gets jealous, or not jealous, but embarrassed because she saves him from the unagi.
Yeah, like all the rest of the little kids leave because the unagi wasn't showing up. So but Aang's in the water, and then Katara just goes to check on him because Aang asked her to come down to watch him, and she said no originally. But then she just went and checked on him, and then she ended up saving him once the unagi came and almost got him, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of where that whole storyline's playing out. But at the same time, Sokka, he goes over and he tries to, I don't want to say make friendly with the female warriors, girl warriors, but he goes and he decides he's going to start training with them.
Yes.
He's Sokka. He's the man, and basically he gets shown up, right? They beat crap out of him.
And you meet Suki, which right now she's just, I guess, a character you meet. She's the one that was the leader of the Kyoshi warriors, and the one Sokka pretty much got showed up by. She's not an important character now, but I'll just say she's a character to remember.
So we will see her again. Aha.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Don't tell me too much. Don't want to spoil it. Mm-hmm. But basically, so they do start training one another, or training with one another. But at the same time, Zuko shows up, and he starts to take out the village, basically, and starts burning everything down. And it becomes another showdown between him and Aang.
Yep.
in this process, Aang is now starting to see and realize that by being the Avatar and going to these places, that he's bringing danger with him, and that danger is following him, and he could cause danger to other people.
Yeah, he just has to be careful now, because it's kind of like his first thing of showing, because it's really the first place they've been to, and he's kind of got to learn, like, people have been waiting 100 years for him to save them, but there's also going to be people that want to hunt him down, like Zuko.
Yeah. So that was kind of the meat of the show, getting into the fact that Sokka's, training and trying to learn respect for these girl warriors. And in the end, as they're getting ready to then leave the island, Sokka ends up kissing, what's her name?
Suki.
Mm-hmm. Ends up kissing Suki. So that was kind of a whoa, hold on here a moment. What's going on there? But as they are leaving and trying to get away from Zuko, Aang uses the Unagi to put out the flames on the village.
Yeah.
And basically drenches Zuko and his crew, and that's how he, I don't want to say defeats him, but holds him off.
Yeah, because they were there, and like Tara said something like to Aang, like the only way to make this stop is, it seems wrong to leave, but you have, like, leaving is the best way to get Zuko to go.
All right, so
save them.
A lot of this episode again is Zuko just coming to terms with the fact that he needs to get the Avatar, capture the Avatar. Mm-hmm. Ideally, we're thinking he probably at this point, the reason he wants to get the Avatar is to make sure that he can be the next Avatar, or at least that's his hopes or wishes. That's the way it seems. It's still early. We're only on episode 4. Same time, we see this kind of relationship growing between Aang and Katara.
Yeah.
Don't really know if it's romantic or not, but they obviously like one another. They get jealous of one another. So there's a little something there, but it'll be interesting to see how that develops as time goes on.
Yeah.
And then Sokka obviously has his own thing going on in this episode, where he's training with the female warriors, and in the end he ends up kissing Suki.
Yes. Well, Suki kisses him, but like he wasn't mad at it.
No, he was accepting.
Yeah. One of my favorite things in this episode, which is, I guess, for somebody who is new to it, probably wouldn't know much about it, but in the beginning, I don't know if you remember, when they first capture, like, Aang and Sokka and Katara, they don't think Aang's the Avatar when he first says it, but then he, like, shows them airbending, and then there's the guy that comes up and, like, starts, like, freaking out, and that he's, I guess, by the fans called Foaming Mouth Guy, and so, it's probably not a detail like somebody who's watching it the first time, but he's kind of he's not anybody special, but he's kind of like a funny thing. He's like the Easter egg for the returning viewers. Yeah. Right? That's what everybody kind of looks out for and pays attention to when they're watching it for a second time. Yeah. All right. I slightly remember him a little bit. Yeah. Okay. That's good one. I would say my favorite part of this episode was probably when Aang uses the Unagi to blow out the flames and drenches everybody. That's pretty ingenious on his part and a good way to safely do everything. Mm-hmm. But I was digging that. That was kind of cool. Now they leave. Unagi doesn't go with him, right? No. Okay, I didn't think so. They the Unagi just like stays in that water. He got back on Appa and like they flew away. That's what I thought. Yeah, Appa. I couldn't remember his name. And this episode, it's a fun fact because one time I just decided to Google it and see if there was any episodes that came out on my birthday ever. And this episode came out on my first birthday. So awesome. That was cool. This is way before you were an Avatar fan, obviously. Yeah. I didn't start watching it till I was 5, so. I was 1, so I had no clue. But
sure, of course. Oh, that's a little fun fact. Awesome. Yeah. Good deal. Anything else in this episode that I should have been paying a little more attention to other than Foaming Mouth Man?
Well, I mean, you got to learn about Kyoshi, which, I mean, I guess you'll see her in a few more times this series and learn a little bit more about her. She's just one of the past avatars, and I guess I find more interest to it now because actually last summer they have a whole book about Kyoshi, and so I have that and I read it, and now in July, I think it's July 21st it comes out. I already bought it, but there's a sequel to that. So I like to now go back and see the little details about that because now that I know a lot more about her, it's kind of cool.
Okay. All right. And as we were discussing before the podcast started, Kyoshi was the Avatar 2 before Aang.
Yeah. So you learned about Roku. I guess you didn't really learn about him, but you saw him in the Southern Air Temple, like you saw a statue and Aang knew who it was. So that Roku's before Aang, and then Kyoshi is before Roku.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Trying to see. I think that's most of my notes on this one. Mm-hmm. So it's just the continuing saga of Aang, Sokka, and Katara, and see where they lead to next. So each episode doesn't really give you that update. You don't really know where they're headed to until the next episode actually comes out. So
like
that's kind of
a lot of season 1, they're like traveling and you're getting to see the world and meet all these characters and setting a lot of things up for things that will happen later. Mm-hmm. And so when you get into, I guess, a little bit at the end of the season and a lot of season 2 and 3, they have more plans of what they're doing.
Okay.
But, like, right now, Aang, of course, they're going to the Northern Water Tribe for Aang and Katara to learn waterbending, but, like, he just wants to go and visit all these places first, so.
Sure. He's a young kid. It's an adventure.
Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing right now.
Right, exactly. So that's pretty cool. Anything else that we need to think about before we head into episode 5?
I mean, like I said, there's not a lot of at the beginning episodes, like.
Yeah, it's still pretty early.
It all connects, but it's not like there's anything from this episode that you really need to think about before going to the 5th episode.
Sure. Okay. All right. No, I'm on board. I'm watching each episode and enjoying it. So this is good. All right. Well, that finished this episode of Everything Avatar. Please join us again next week as we discuss episode 5. If you want to contact us, reach out to us, please do so. You can find me on Twitter at I'm Trying Dan. Aaron, where can they find and reach out to you at?
You can find me on my YouTube channel at Aaron Pinkham and my Instagram at AirBear34.
All right. Until next time, I'm Dan Harris.
And I'm Aaron Pinkham. Thanks for listening to the Everything Avatar podcast. See you next time.
See ya.